Whew. It is 6:23. I am walking up to security. I did not dress appropriately for the day because it's misting and I have on a dress. I should have on pants and I'm cold.
Like Star Tours area.
That's fine. I'm gonna use the momentum of getting into the park, the excitement to warm my soul. Whew. My eyes are watering because it's windy. What a great day I picked for this. Hey everybody, it's Molly with All Ears and I'm here with an alt-newt video. Now you might be thinking to yourself, wow, she's filming this at night. But no friends, I'm here very early in the morning at Hollywood Studios, which can only mean one thing. I'm trying to get a boarding group for Rise of the Resistance. But why? Well everyone, I'm gonna have the best day ever at Hollywood Studios. I recently did that video about the best day ever at Animal Kingdom. I also did the worst day at Disney, all based on your reviews on AllEars.net. And I'm here at Hollywood Studios to do the same thing. So I went through all of the reviews and I found what you guys voted as the best attractions, shows, and dining, and that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna talk strategy to accomplish all of these things, and we're gonna discuss, are these really the best things in Hollywood Studios? Am I really gonna have the best day ever? We're gonna find out all of that and more. I'm really excited. It's very early in the morning. I'm gonna drink as much coffee as possible. It's gonna be fun. Let's get to it. Here is the line to get in the park. It looks like it's moving, maybe? It's just about 6:30 and they've been opening the park up at 6:30. So at this point, I want to find what looks like the shortest line, which I assume is going to be keep going to the right. And I am going to keep going to the right because I know that to get through the ticket booths, it's more narrow than how many turnstiles there are. So I'm hoping once everyone gets through here, you can like spread out a little bit. I actually should have gone all the way right because they let in a lot more of those people to fill all of those turnstiles. But again, it doesn't matter for getting a boarding group. The only advantage to getting into the park earlier now is you could get like a little closer to Slinky Dog or Tower of Terror for when they open at 7 as well. Thank you. In the park at 6:39, so that took like 10 minutes to get through the park from after joining security. Now nothing else is open either, except for maybe Starbucks and some of the merch shops. And here's the Starbucks line all the way back here. I may as well join it though. What else do I have to do? So Starbucks had a very long line, as you saw. Joffrey's doesn't open till 7, but a sweet customer told me that they're doing like some of those coffee express carts like they do at the line in Flight of Passage, where they just sell black coffee at Hollywood Junction, which is right here across from Starbucks. So I don't have time to wait in that line right now. I need coffee immediately. So I'm going to just get a cup of coffee here. And I have a feeling I'll be visiting Starbucks later. All right, coffee acquired. And I am gonna walk towards these giant signs. They're very bright for this early. It's hard to see on my screen, but the middle one just says Hollywood Studios. Then the left one says Galaxy's Edge. The right one says Toy Story Land. So they're trying to let everyone know where to go because those are clearly the two most popular places to start your day. And it doesn't matter where you are in the park to join a boarding group, so you might as well walk towards something you want to do. This is good to know. This area is basically empty, so if you came here with little kids, you could probably let them... Oh, never mind, I lied. You cannot let them run around. You have to go to Toy Story Land, where I'm going to immediately hit a block. And the Animal Kingdom one, I tried to do it in order of like worst to best of the best based on what I had to do today. And that is what I'm gonna kind of try again here, but it's gonna be hard because I obviously had to get here really early to try and get a boarding group. I don't have a Slinky Dog Fast Pass, so I'm gonna maybe join this really long line that it looks like will be happening at 7 a.m. when they open. Maybe I'll fiddle-faddle for one later, so it may be a little out of order, but I'm gonna try to go worst to best of the best. I'm also, maybe this is silly, but I'm like superstitious about getting in line with all these people because I'm afraid I'll fight data with them to get a boarding pass. Is that a thing? Someone techie let me know. Which leads me to a good point. Don't use the Disney Wi-Fi for this. Use your data, because all these people are going to be using the Wi-Fi. So try and use your data just to get the boarding group. Also, if you opened the My Disney Experience app and were looking at things before you came into the park, make sure you close out of it, hard close it, and then open it again now that your ticket has been scanned in. Another important thing about the boarding groups is that you can book them for other people the same way you can book fast passes for another person, but every person must scan their band or their card and be physically in the park to be qualified for a boarding pass. So you can't send dad while mom and the kids stay asleep and he can get everybody. No, everybody has to be here. But if you're linked up and you're able to book fast passes for someone, then you're going to be able to book their boarding group as well. So you can have a designated person that does the boarding group acquirement. Now it's like 2 minutes to go and people are getting antsy. And by that I mean me. But also there's an excitement in the air. It's warming my soul and my legs. I got a notification that when I was trying to book the boarding group right at 7 that I wasn't in the park, which is the same thing you'd get if somebody stayed home and you were trying to book them. But clearly I am in the park and was in the park. And while it can take a few minutes to sync up, I'd been in the park for like 20 minutes. So I went and talked to guest relations, and apparently there's a glitch in the system that if you're an annual pass holder and you visit a lot, like I do, like 4 or 5 times a week, for some reason it doesn't always register in the boarding pass system. Bizarre, weird, but I was very nice, she was very nice, and she put me in boarding group 40, which is like right in the middle of the pack, kind of on the earlier side, because I could prove to her with a screenshot that I was trying to get it right at 7. So couple good lessons learned here. One, if there are any glitches, find a guest relations cast member, head to guest relations. That's what they're equipped for. But make sure you take screenshots. So if you get a weird error like I did or something happens, go to guest relations, take your screenshots, show them what you were trying to do, be nice to them, and they will help you out. Whew. Now that the adrenaline's worn off, I'm a little chilly again, but it'll warm up. A couple other important things about the boarding passes. When I was fiddling, trying to see if it would figure out I was in the park, at 7:02 it said I was going to join a backup boarding group, which is very fast. But if you get that notification, a backup boarding group means that you're going to be in a higher number boarding group. You are going to get one, but you're not guaranteed a ride on the attraction. No one's guaranteed. But if you get a backup boarding group, you are going under the assumption that if you don't get on the attraction, you don't get any compensation or anything. In the past, they've given compensation to those that get a regular boarding group if there are long downtimes or their boarding group doesn't get called. It could vary for everyone, but in the past, they've given out like a fast pass to come back the next day with a ticket or something. Don't quote me on that. They could change that at any moment, but that's what they've done in the past. And if you join a backup boarding group, you are agreeing that if you don't get to ride, you won't get anything, and you're cool with that. Another important point I want to make about the boarding groups is that it has nothing to do with your fast passes. So boarding groups and fast passes are two separate entities. You can still have 3 fast passes and a boarding group. It's not like this counts as one of your fast passes. So keep that in mind. Book your fast passes as you would normally, and then day of, get here early. As it stands right now, Slinky Dog has a 105-minute wait, Toy Story Mania has a 45-minute wait, and Smuggler's Run has an hour-long wait, but Tower of Terror only has a 15-minute, and Rock and Roller Coaster only has 25. So I actually think the smart thing to do at this point, if you were trying to do a bunch of stuff in Hollywood Studios, would be to go down Sunset first thing as opposed to Galaxy's Edge or Toy Story Land, and you could knock out those 2 big attractions, also hoping that you already have a Slinky Dog Dash Fast Pass that you can use later. I do not have a Slinky Dog Dash Fast Pass, and that is on my list for the day, but I don't want to wait in a 105-minute line, and I realize with Rise of the Resistance, me trying to do this in order is going to get all thrown off anyway because I am at the beck and call of Rise of the Resistance. So the first attraction I'm going to ride today is lower on my list, but it's not the lowest on my list. It actually sits at number 5, and there's a couple things tied for spot number 6, but the ride I'm going on right now is Star Tours, which has a score of a 9.17 in our reviews. That's a little high in my opinion, but I'm going to go ride it and check it out and see if I change my mind and that a 9.17 is a fair score for Star Tours. So Star Tours only has like a 10-minute wait right now, but I did book a fast pass for it in advance. If you're watching this video before February 19th, Star Tours is a very good use of a Tier 2 Fast Pass because there's not a lot of attractions in Tier 2 as it currently stands. It's mostly shows and then Star Tours, and then everything else is in Tier 1. But on February 19th, they're switching things up and they're adding Fast Pass to Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. So Tier 1 will be that and Slinky Dog Dash, and then everything else, including Rock and Roller Coaster and Toy Story Mania and Star Tours, are going to be in Tier 2. And at that point, I don't think you should book Star Tours as a Tier 2 attraction. I think you should book Toy Story Mania and your choice of Rock and Roller Coaster or Tower of Terror. So, and then also Slinky Dog Dash probably is your Tier 1. Unless you're really into Star Wars, then maybe do Millennium Falcon. We're going to have to see how that shakes out. TBD, we'll do a video on it when it all changes. But, yeah, that's a long tangent to say I have a Fast Pass for Star Tours, and I'm going to use it because I'm going to want to get more Fast Passes later, even though it's a walk-on attraction right now.
Go away, beastly thing! Go away! The transmission.
I am Lando Calrissian with the Resistance.
Stop.
9.17 is high to me for Star Tours. I think personally I'd put it more at like a 7.5 or an 8. I do like that they currently have a new Rise of Skywalker ending to it, and I did feel feels when Lando came on and asked us to help out the Resistance. Right now it is only going to show that clip at the for the second and third part. Normally what it does, it rotates between different scenes, so you never know what planets you're going to visit, but whenever they add a new clip for a new movie, they kind of keep it on that one for a little bit. So if you go in the near future, you're pretty much guaranteed to go on the adventure. I don't actually know the planets' names. My eye's still watering. But you're going to go see the scenes from Rise of Skywalker. So if I got in line again right now, I'd go see the same mission. So that's cool because it guarantees you get to see the new thing, but it's also if you want to ride it more than once, the rewritability's gone because you know where you're going to go. That said, I still think it's like a 7.5 maybe. I think especially compared to the other Galaxy's Edge attractions, the other Star Wars attractions, this one doesn't hold up. It also makes me nauseous, so that's a little maybe personal bias, but I just think the technology, and there's other amazing attractions in this park that for me should be higher than Star Tours, and they're not. I haven't even done things that are going to shock you that they're lower than Star Tours. Good to note that a couple of the carts around the park will open early, and they'll have some breakfast items like some pastries, and a lot of them also have like a bacon, egg, and cheese or a ham, egg, and cheese biscuit situation. So you can get a little breakfast as you're moving and grooving this early. I want to specifically point out that they have a French toast pretzel with maple syrup as an option, and it goes really quickly because obviously that sounds delicious. So that could be a fun reward for getting here at 6 in the morning. There is an insane amount of birds just around. It's unsettling. What do they want? Are they looking for snacks? They're everywhere. This is crazy. And with the weather being all cloudy and chilly, it's very ominous. I just had to put tights on that I stealthily snuck in my bag as I was leaving my house, and I'm very glad I did because it's very chilly and like kind of misty and just kind of a gross day. And I'm just saying that to point out the irony that both times I've filmed the best day ever, it's been like cold and kind of gross outside weather-wise. But that won't stop me from having a great day. Headed down Sunset Boulevard now to go to what ranks number 4 as the best attractions in Hollywood Studios, and that is Rock and Roller Coaster. It has a 9.62 on the review section, so I got a Fast Pass for it when I was booking my Fast Passes, and I'm gonna head down to go see my pal Steven Tyler now. Rock and Roller Coaster has a 48-inch height requirement, making it one of the tallest height requirements in any of the parks. One of my personal favorite attractions. I do have a Fast Pass for it because this is what I used as my Tier 1 today. However, it also has single rider, so if you're okay with your party splitting up, definitely check out single rider. It's a 90-second roller coaster. Do you really need to sit next to your family during that time? Otherwise, definitely a good use. Right now, it's a Tier 1 attraction, but when it becomes a Tier 2 attraction, I would say this or Tower of Terror or Toy Story Mania, one combination of those two is definitely a very good use of your tier 2 attractions.
There's the band where they do their recording.
Wait a minute. I love that idea. How about some backstage passes?
This is what my hair looks like getting off of Rock and Roller Coaster. I love Rock and Roller Coaster. I think a 9.62, I think that's fair. I personally would bump it up even higher. I think it's such a fun attraction. I would give it like a 9.75 or 9.8 for me. The only downfall about Rock and Roller Coaster is it's short. It's only 90 seconds long, so that's kind of a bummer, but otherwise I think it's great. It's the only attraction that's gonna flip you upside down in Walt Disney World, and it's got an awesome soundtrack, so I love Rock and Roller Coaster. Also, a good thing I should point out about doing a Fast Pass or standby versus single rider, you can request, if you ask nicely, what seat you want. I love to request the back because that slingshot at the beginning, that 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds, feels even longer, and like your stomach goes like this. Just something I live for, apparently. But try the back next time if you haven't before. All right, I am headed now to my first food location that is on the list. It's the number 3 of 4 places I'm going to visit or talk about today, and it's one of my personal favorites, which is a little bit of a spoiler. Also, bad news, I overheard a cast member say that Rise of the Resistance is down right now, and then I checked the app, and they've been on boarding group 30 for the last, 30 minutes or so. That's a good way to know that the attraction is having technical difficulties. If you see that the numbers aren't going up any higher, that's a pretty good sign that something's wrong. But I am in fact headed to the Trolley Car Cafe, which is the Starbucks location here. Still has a pretty lengthy line, but this time I'm not in a rush, and it's on my list, and I need another coffee, so those seem like good reasons to jump in this queue. The Trolley Car Cafe actually has a score of an 8, and it's the highest ranked quick service location where you could get something more than a snack in the park. So that's pretty surprising, but I guess also kind of telling of the quick service here in Hollywood Studios. So you can get more than just coffee here. They've got breakfast stuff, and they've got salads and sandwiches and things. They've also got a couple of iconic treats like that carrot cake cookie, which is 2 chunks of carrot cake with the cream cheese frosting in the middle. So got my coffee, and now I'm gonna sit on one of these benches here and just people watch for a minute and have a lovely little breakfast. There's also some seating over on this side of the street. On a warmer day, you'll be harder pressed to find just like a table, but I'm gonna have myself a little breakfast picnic. Oh, what a delight. Here's my gigantic coffee and my breakfast wrap. It's just like a tortilla with egg white, spinach, and feta. It kind of tastes like a breakfast Hot Pocket, but, it's not the most exciting thing, but I like it. Like I said, it's not that exciting. You can get it literally at any Starbucks, but it's good. It's light. It's a little healthier. It's a good breakfast item. I want to remind you as well, this is very good information, that any drink at Starbucks can be a snack. Literally, any size, any cost, you can add, she literally said you could put 12 shots of espresso in every flavor we have in it. I don't recommend that, but you could. So if you're planning on getting a Starbucks, especially a bigger, fancier Starbucks, some kind of Frappuccino or something like that, that can be a snack credit, and that's definitely a very good use of a snack credit. What I don't think is as good of a use of a snack credit or a dining plan credit is for a quick service meal. You could get what I have right here, which is just a coffee and this pastry. This together was like $7 because this is just plain coffee. So that's not a good use of a quick service. But to use a snack credit on like that carrot cake cookie is really good, or a gigantic fancy coffee, that's a really good snack credit. And I feel like people forget you can use snack credits like that at the Starbucks in the parks. Now I know I'm just sitting here and enjoying myself and people watching with a cup of coffee, but this actually is part of my best day ever at Disney World, like I did at the Nomad Lounge at Animal Kingdom, or like I often talk about doing here at a couple places. just sitting back, relaxing. That's a key part of a vacation. The citizens are coming by. It's just, this is what it's all about. Well, that's not what it's all about. It's also about getting up at 4 a.m. to get on Rise of the Resistance, but it can also be about relaxing. Hello.
Send me some cafecito.
Yes, see.
Big star right there.
Oh yeah, right there.
She's an international star.
At this point, I've just been strolling along, enjoying my coffee. My next Fast Pass is in about 13 minutes. It's for a show, and it's also there. Rise of the Resistance is back up because the boarding groups are moving again. They're only like 3 away from me, so it's probably gonna happen at the same time that I need to go see the show and my Rise of the Resistance time is up. But again, they give you a window block, so I'll probably still see the show first, but we'll play it by ear. And for now, I'm gonna actually do one of my favorite things because I don't have time to do anything else for the show. I'm just gonna wander and shop in Disney merchandise shops, which is truly one of my favorite things. First thing, I'm spotting a lot of the new Disney Parks Life line. That's the collection for 2020. It's this cute collection of like your favorite characters doing park things. So you see Minnie has a balloon, there's Figment, Goofy's clearly at Epcot, there's Toy Story Land, Donald's taking pictures, Mickey's got the flag, Everest. They have this cute socks, 12 days of socks gift you could give someone, which I think is actually really cute, and each day you get a different pair of socks that have an iconic Disney attraction or character or something on them. This retro looking line is relatively new as well, and I love that it's like a throwback, very 70s. I like the sweatshirt, they've got a bag, and then over here they've got even more that goes with it. This is even more 70s, like the tanks, different hoodie and sweatpants, Spirit jersey. Love that button down. So that's a fun line.
She'll let it go. Yeah. But that's a good one. That's what we gotta hope Disney.
I have a joke.
Woody is that.
Why is Cinderella bad at soccer?
She always runs away from the ball, and she's got a pumpkin as a coat.
Oh. All good reasons.
Glass slippers are not good for it. Okay, here we go.
Is BB hungry?
No, because BB ate.
Got it.
That's
You
it.
know them all.
Well, here in this town, those jokes are very common.
Yeah.
So here's my card.
What's Tarzan's favorite song?
Hold on, what's Tarzan's favorite song?
Christmas song.
What?
What's his favorite Christmas song?
Favorite Christmas song?
Okay, hold on. Let's think about it.
Well, I don't think I've heard this one. You might try to figure it out. You know what? Let's hear it.
Jungle Bells.
Jungle Bells.
There we go.
Yeah, big money. My name's Molly.
Molly.
Yes.
Molly.
Yes.
Molly.
Yes.
Jungle Bells.
Yeah.
Jungle Bells. Tarzan. We'll put that in our Disney section.
Is it really on there? Yeah. Can I see it?
Tarzan. Yeah, Molly, Jungle Bells, Tarzan.
Oh, perfect. I
You're
can't
in.
wait.
You're in.
When do I get my cut? That's it? I don't get royalties? No royalties. I just signed it all over for $5. They might. I will. Coffee.
Happens in literary world.
All right, I'll take it. While I was in the store, I saw the citizens cruising out down the street, so I decided to come listen to whatever they were doing. And they were collecting jokes for their new book. And if they hadn't heard it before, they'd pay you and put it in their book, and now you're going to be a published author. So I came up with a joke they hadn't heard before, or I told them one, and I got 5 smackers that are worth absolutely nothing. But the citizens of Hollywood are one of my favorite things. So if you're here and they're out, watch them for a little bit because they're hilarious and definitely a very good classic Hollywood Studios flavor. Headed to Beauty and the Beast live on stage now. I do have a fast pass for this one. It is it's tied for 6. I know I've done 5 and 4, and now we're going backwards to 6. Beauty and the Beast live on stage is one of 3 things tied with a score of a 9 as far as the reviews go. So I am headed in there now. I don't necessarily think you need to use a fast pass, but I needed 3 so I could unlock 4. And this is the first showing of the day, so I'm headed in there to see The Tale as Old as Time. I also got my Rise of the Resistance boarding pass notification that I can go, and I got 2 hours, so I have I got it at 10:22, and so I have until 12:22 to go ride Rise of the Resistance.
I make way for perfection. Bonjour,
Esteemed Mesdames et messieurs, it is with deepest pride and greatest pleasure that we welcome you.
Someone has to protect our village. Kill the beast. He will kill your children.
I don't know what's wrong with me, but like I literally cry every time I see that show. Like I don't know what's gonna happen in the show or the movie Beauty and the Beast for that matter. Like I don't know the Beast will be saved by magic when Belle tells him that she loves him. Oh man, that's a good one. I would say a 9's just about on the nose for that. I don't think it needs to be any higher. If you said it was like an 8.5 or an 8, I wouldn't fight you and tell you you're wrong. Any lower than that I think is unfair, but I'd say between an 8 and a 9. It's probably my favorite stage show here besides Fantasmic, but I do love Beauty and the Beast. It's one of my favorite Disney movies, as it is probably a lot of yours, and I love that music. Can't beat it. So yeah, I think that sits about right at a 9. And now it's time to go join the Resistance. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. When your boarding group has been called, you come into Galaxy's Edge and head over this way. You'll see a cast member holding a sign that says Rise of the Resistance entrance, and then they will scan your card or your magic band to ensure that you do in fact have a boarding group and that it has in fact been called. Hello! Bright Suns! Yay! It's time to see Poe! Thank you! Hello, Bright Suns! I love this attraction, which makes me very happy to tell you that on the All Ears review section, it has a 10, a perfect 10. Does it hold up to a perfect 10? Probably. In fact, it's probably an 11, but I will ride it right now just to make sure. Something to keep in mind, just because you have a boarding group doesn't mean you're gonna like walk right onto the attraction. I've been told they try to keep it under an hour at maximum. I have seen it longer than that. But I'm going to time it right now to see how long it actually takes me to get into the first room of the attraction from scanning my boarding group pass. I love looking in all these lockers and things because you'll see different blasters and equipment, and there's lots of Easter eggs. I don't know all of them, but bigger Star Wars fans may. I'm a pretty big Star Wars fan now. Galaxy's Edge made me one, but people that have been watching them for decades probably can pick out better things than I can. Do we think any of these are Poe's? Like, has Poe touched that? Or that? Or that? Or that? It took just over 20 minutes from the time I got in line with my boarding pass to being next to go into the first room of the actual attraction, which is in the room with Rey and BB-8 and my true love, Poe Dameron. Minus Buzz Lightyear.
Welcome to the cause. May the Force be with us.
Commander Poe Dameron and a squadron of X-Wings shall escort us to the rendezvous point on Bakara.
Roger, this is Black Leader. I hear you're a fine-looking group of recruits. Well, no time to waste. Let's get you on your way to the General.
30 seconds.
So cool. Everyone's freaking out. It's just awesome. I'm gonna start crying again. This attraction is so cool.
Evasive action!
Try to shake him, Blue!
I'm trying!
We lost Blue 5! I'm gonna try to draw him away!
Copy. I have a bad feeling about this. Stand back from those doors.
This ship is now under the command of the First Order. Disembark at once and call to your right-hand side for processing.
Little pro tip. when our friend here tells us to stand back from the doors, he looks which side, because you don't know which side that you'll be boarded from. So watch our BFF, Lieutenant Beck, and he'll tell you. Oh. I would not be very good at being in the first order. There doesn't seem to be a lot of smiling, and I love to smile. Smiling's my favorite, so. My new friend. He's not my friend.
You know the location of the secret base, and I will take it from you.
We'll need it on the bridge.
Keep the prisoners here. I will return to finish this personally.
Thank goodness.
Recruits, for your safety, stay seated with seatbelts securely fastened. Keep hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the transport and supervise your children. Take those turbo lifts and stay out of trouble.
Hurry! What?
No, not up! I said down! This does not look good.
You guys really like cutting it close, don't you? Your escape pods came in a little off target.
I don't know if it's because I've been up since 5 o'clock in the morning, but I literally have tears in my eyes right now getting off that attraction, and I've ridden it several other times, and it is so amazing. It's amazing. A 10 is not high enough. It is worth getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. It is worth getting here before the sun comes up. It is incredible. If you have the ability and the opportunity to come ride Rise of the Resistance, I cannot recommend it enough. It is just, it's stunning. It's unlike anything you'll ever do anywhere else. I have a whole video about it from when it first opened, a full ride through, fun facts, the story behind it, all the details. We'll definitely link that for you, but yeah, that deserves the perfect 10 that it has, and it truly deserves higher. It's in its own caliber. It's the gold standard right now. From one exciting land to the next. Hey buddy. I am headed now, we went from the number 1 attraction on the list. We're going back to all the way to number 6. That's right, the next attraction I am headed to is tied for 6, and it's Slinky Dog Dash. So shocked. I was shocked when I read it, but Slinky Dog Dash only has a 9, which is the same thing as Beauty and the Beast Live on Stage, and one other thing we haven't done yet, and I'm not going to spoil for you, which I think is very shocking, but we'll ride it and see. I was able to snag a fast pass by fiddle faddling whilst waiting for the Beauty and the Beast show to start, so here we go with old Slink. I just smile on that attraction. It is so much fun, and I do not think a 9 is high enough. I definitely don't think it's on par with Beauty and the Beast, and wait till you see what the other thing is that's ranked tied with those two. And I don't think it's more thrilling than Rock and Roller Coaster, but I may like it more than Rock and Roller Coaster. It's more thrilling than it looks, and I just came off Rise of the Resistance, so my bar was very high. I don't think it's as good as that. Different audience, apples and oranges. Long story short, it's adorable. Put it on your must-do list. Definitely part of a best day at Hollywood Studios, and a 9 is too low. I would give it closer to like a 9.8. Now I'm going to show you what the other thing is that's tied with Slinky Dog and Beauty and the Beast in 6th place. Florida weather is so weird. Earlier, I had on a dress, tights, a long sleeve shirt, and my jean jacket, and I was cold and asking merchandise shops if they had scarves. And now it's hot, and I have and I had my rain jacket on top of all that. Now my rain jacket, tights, and long sleeve shirt are shoved into my backpack. I just have on my dress and jacket, and I'm only because my jacket wouldn't fit in my backpack. And I'm hot. I know this is very dramatic of me to be complaining about, but when you come these months, layers are your friends, because you never know. It could be 50, it could be 80. And it's probably gonna rain at some point. The other thing on my list that, according to you, viewers, readers, is tied with Slinky Dog Dash and Beauty and the Beast is Star Wars Launch Bay. Listen, I enjoy the Launch Bay. I like meeting Chewbacca. I actually like meeting Darth Vader. I like looking at all the stuff, and it's really cool. And if you're a Star Wars fan, definitely. But to put this on level with Slinky Dog, I don't know about that. I've got a bad feeling about this. So we're going to go explore the Launch Bay, see what we think the rating should be. But I'm just telling you, once again, this is tied with Slinky Dog. There are a couple different components at the Star Wars Launch Bay. There's a short video about the Star Wars fandom. It's actually pretty cute. There's 3 different meet and greets: Chewbacca, Darth Vader, and BB-8. And there's like some props and costumes and different things like that inside where the characters are. And there's Launch Bay Cargo, which has some pretty cool, unique Star Wars merchandise. So there's actually pretty long lines for the characters. So I may not meet everybody right now, but I am gonna check the little movie out. They actually changed the video since the last time I watched it. Last time I watched it was all about the fans and like Comic-Con type events for Star Wars fans. This time it was called Meet the Makers, and it was all about the newest Star Wars things. So Rise of Skywalker, the new Clone Wars series, The Mandalorian, Galaxy's Edge. So really, really interesting. I always love doing new things, and I like learning because I'm a big nerd. I'm now exploring in the Launch Bay where they've got models of different starships. And this guy, also the Death Star, also a TIE Fighter. More things. I'm gonna pick somebody to meet. Looks like Darth has a shorter line, so we're going with Lord Vader. Oh, it's actually 30. Is it 30 for Chewbacca as well? Okay, so this is incorrect information. So now, if they're both the same amount, Chewie, Darth. Chewie, Darth. Can you say hi to them? How have you been? Yeah, are you cold out there? It's cold. No? Yo, you have a lot of fur. I saw Poe earlier. Yeah, he was over at the Resistance base. And I saw BB-8 and Kylo Ren. We don't like him. Will you take a selfie with me? Thank you. I did wait like maybe 35 minutes, which is kind of a long time to meet a character. I mean, I guess it's Chewbacca. But if I wanted to also meet Darth Vader, he's at 40 minutes and BB-8's at 20 minutes. That's a lot of minutes to spend in here for character meet and greets. I don't even know if on a regular day I'd wait that long for Buzz Lightyear. Might wait that long for Poe Dameron, but... Speaking of Poe Dameron, as you exit, you can see some of his costumes. Look at the build on that. You can also see Dio and his X-Wing, but the costume's cooler. And then the last thing at the Launch Bay is Launch Bay Cargo, where there is really cool merchandise, like some awesome Star Wars artwork. You can actually buy lightsaber models, clothes. You can make custom phone cases, including ones that have Baby Yoda on them. Cool Star Wars clothes. Star Wars wine, apparently. Look, here's the Baby Yoda stuff. So there's this Baby Yoda sticker. There's a Baby Yoda phone case. And a Baby Yoda magic band. So that's cute. This is also where you can find our friend R2-D2. He's asleep right now, but he's here and he roams about sometimes, and you can take him home for a small fee of 25,000 credits, which means dollars. Obviously, if you're a Star Wars person, the launch bay is super, super cool. You get to meet 3 awesome characters. There's that. I really liked that new video, and it is cool looking at all the props and things. But to put it on par with Slinky Dog, no. It's, in my book, it's kind of hard to rank actually, like what I would give it, because obviously if you're a non-Star Wars person, the launch bay is like a big fat 0, because you're not going to care one bit that you can see some of the props from the film or meet Chewbacca. But if you're a diehard Star Wars person, then maybe it is closer to a 10 and that's something you want to do. But for me, who's someone who is a fan, I would probably give it like a 7, maybe? Yeah, and I will tell you that later in the evening, those character lines are a lot shorter. I got through all 3 of them within 30 minutes. And it was at like 7:15 at night. So obviously if you're gonna go see Fantasmic, that might not work out, but you could easily go see them and then go out here for the fireworks in time, most likely, most days. So yeah, that's how I feel about that. And now I'm rushing because I'm officially 1 minute late to my lunch reservation. I am headed to go get a bite at the 50s Primetime Cafe, which is actually the number 2 highest ranked food establishment that I'm talking about today, and the highest ranked place that you can get something that's not dessert. So I'm excited to check it out. It has an 8.46 on our rating scale. 50s Primetime Cafe, if you couldn't guess, is themed after life in the 50s. So everything in here literally feels like you're very mid-century. It feels like you are in somebody's living room. As you wait, you can watch some shows. We've got old episodes of, it looks like the Mickey Mouse Club, maybe, on. And these cute black and whites. This part I'm actually waiting in is called the Tune-In Lounge, and it is a full-service bar. You can actually sit at the bar, first come, first serve, and you can order off the full menu. But the best part about the 50s Primetime Cafe is that you're all family here, and the servers are your cousins, and they're going to treat you like family. They're going to tell your kids to keep their elbows off the table and make sure they finish their vegetables. They may ask you to make sure you wash your hands, and then ask you what color the soap is in the bathroom just to make sure they did it. So it's a lot of fun. It is definitely something for the whole family. Food is comfort food, so fried chicken, meatloaf, pot pie, delicious stuff like that. But mostly you come for the atmosphere and the fun ribbing with the cast members.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
With us before.
It has been a very long time.
Brian, where are you from?
I'm from Florida. It's very exciting.
Oh,
yeah, exotic place.
I can take a picture.
We're taking a picture. Right back here.
Whoa, I get this gigantic seat all for me?
Yes, let's go, woman. Sneaking over there. I'll come with you.
I don't want to knock. Oh, man.
So pleased that you came back in.
Thank you.
My brother Wakili will be with us shortly.
Great.
So good luck with that.
Thank you. He seems fun. I ordered myself an iconic peanut butter and jelly milkshake, one of their specialties. It sounds weird, but I promise it's amazing. They also do the old school root beer or Coke floats, as well as you can get like Coke with vanilla or cherry syrup in it. And then their most popular and iconic things are the pot roast, the fried chicken, and the meatloaf. They also have a pot pie. You can do this sampling, which would give you a little bit of the fried chicken, the pot roast, and the meatloaf with some sides, mashed potatoes, and green beans and stuff, so that way you can try a little bit of their most iconic recipes. Here's my peanut butter and jelly milkshake. It's really big, so I definitely think if you asked to split that between a couple folks, they would happily oblige, and you could definitely do that. This paper straw is really killing my vibe. It's so good. It tastes more like peanut butter and vanilla than it does jelly, but if you like peanut butter, you gotta try this. It's delightful. It'd be really cute if you had another straw, you could share it. My husband's at work.
Listen up, Janice is acting up. At the count of 3, tell her you need your medicine. 1, 2, 3. You need your medicine. Janice, just take it. Are you gonna listen to me or no? This family is nuts. And I have a Miss Molly. Look at her. She's putting you on a little thing. That way, promote you. That way you can see lights at the end of the tunnel. You always want to get out of here, right? Well, thanks to Molly, she'll take care of that, okay?
Yeah, she probably will. I'll probably get out of here on the end of my you-know-what.
Well, guess what? That means Social Security start kicking. Hello? Or maybe AARP. You're like that. Because she got that little ears. She's excited. I need her husband. Her husband is having a good time right now. She sent it to me that way we can suffer. Yes, that's what he's doing. He's at the Millennia Costco playing over there.
It might be a Costco.
Hi, Princess. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
No,
What are you
she's
doing
not
with your
good.
Get your elbows off the table. This is a dining room table, not a stable. I could give you a kick in the duck.
Molly, this is what I call, what you gonna do, what you gonna do when the mama comes for you, bad girls, what you gonna do when the mama comes for, no, that's a wrong song. Okay, ready, mama? Sharky, baby shark, oh, mama shaking it, mama, go mama.
I have decided on an item that will probably shock no one. It's fried cheese. It's on the appetizer menu. It's fried garlic and herb cheese, and it's got a raspberry sauce, and then it comes with a little garlic toast thing and some fruit. Like I said, it's an appetizer, but I'm going to eat it for lunch / I have another 2 spots I have to get a snack at or a little something at, so try not to fill up. But also, most importantly, fried cheese. Add a little cracker, a little fried cheese, a little raspberry sauce.
No, there's something wrong with her.
It's so good. They're making fun of me. Yeah, the people in the phone.
Turn around, let me see that. Who are they? That's us. You talking to by yourself? You know, that's messed up. You can't do that, okay? Well, as long as you don't answer yourself, you're okay, sweetie? Because Janice does the same thing. So I'll just consider you another Janice, okay?
I need her medicine.
Yeah. Janice, she needs more than that.
But it's delicious. I mean, it's Boursin cheese, the garlic and herb kind. They fried it. Love a little tangy raspberry sauce.
Sharky, baby shark, Molly shark, open wide, Molly. I told you got a big mouth, open wide, bravo. One more, Molly, open wide. There you go. Okay, now we're gonna do baby shark, baby shark.
I do enjoy 50s. I think an 8.46 is right on the money. Is it the best meal you're going to eat in Disney World? No. If you're judging based on the food, it's fine. It's good comfort food. But if you wanted fried chicken and that's all you cared about, then you need to go to Homecoming at Disney Springs. But what the good part about 50s Primetime is the atmosphere. It is so much fun in there. They are going to mess with you and your kids. The table next to me, the brother didn't finish all the food, the older brother, so the server fed it to him and sang Little Bunny Foo Foo, and his little sister was having a conniption. It was so funny. They also get everybody to sing happy birthday. They yelled at me for putting my elbows on the table. Super, super fun. Definitely your grandparents are going to like it because it's got all the throwback kitchen stuff. And then your kids are going to like it because they're going to mess with you. And then the food is pretty good on top of that. In my opinion, the comparable experience is Sci-Fi Dine-In, which is also here, which is where you sit in the convertibles and it feels like you are in a drive-in movie theater around the same time. But I do think the food is better at 50s. So lots and lots of fun. And yeah, I think an 8.46 is pretty fair for that one. I'm off to ride another attraction now. And one I probably should have planned better on not having eaten just beforehand, but you may have guessed that I am headed to the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. On our list, that was the number 3 highest ranked attraction with a 9.75. I think that's perfectly valid. If you said you wanted to give it a 10, I'd say okay. If you said you wanted to give it a 9.5, I'd say okay to that too, but definitely not lower than a 9. It's one of the best themed attractions in Walt Disney World. The detail and the queue and the attraction itself are incredible. It's iconic. I'm not mad about it one bit. And I love that it's on the list. I want to talk about something that happened with Tower of Terror as well. I had a fast pass for earlier, and then there was a downtime at the attraction where it was closed for technical difficulties. If that happens during your fast pass time, you will get automatically what they call a redemption fast pass or multiple experience fast pass added to your My Disney Experience account. And what it is, it's for that attraction anytime through the rest of the day, or there will be a list of other attractions you can use anytime throughout the rest of the day. And it's like a bonus fast pass, so you can have that and another one. So what I did, because I had that one and I have 2 more attractions to ride, one of them I was not able to get a fast pass close to now, the other one was Tower, so I got a Tower fast pass, and then I'm going to use the multi-redemption one on the other attraction I'm going on later, which you probably can guess what it is, but I'll leave the suspense for now.
Trying to be incognito. She's coming before the green.
Thank you. Tower of Terror, definitely part of a best day ever at Hollywood Studios. 9.75, I think that's perfectly fair. If you want to bump it to a 10, that's fine by me. I am actually standing outside of the highest ranked food location in Hollywood Studios, according to you, Scoops, the ice cream parlor. Listen, can't argue with the delicious hand-scooped cup or cone. They've got some awesome sundaes here. I'm not mad about ice cream being on top. It's an 8.5 rating. I think that's perfectly fair. What I do think is interesting is that out of all the quick service spots at Hollywood Studios, the top ones are an ice cream parlor and then Starbucks. So, like I said, this is probably my least favorite park when it comes to quick service locations. I mostly eat at Brown Derby Lounge or Baseline Tap House when I'm here. The quick service locations just aren't that exciting. They're fine. You can get a lot of burgers, chicken nuggets, pizzas. It's more kind of what you think of when you think like theme park food. They haven't elevated the way that some of the other parks have. Like Animal Kingdom's got great quick service. Epcot, of course, has great quick service. So, yeah, ice cream is king. No one can be mad about that. Couple things on their menu I wanted to highlight are these top items. The Apple Crisp a la mode and the Brownie Sundae. They are both huge and count as snack credits, and you could definitely share those with a couple of folks. Also the Ice Cream Sundae. Those are all snack credits, so really, really good use of snack credits here at Scoops. That Apple Crisp is delish. Got my ice cream cone. This is just a kid's cone. I already had a milkshake, guys. But when you get a kid's cone, it comes with Mickey ears that are chocolate that are really cute. And if you ask nicely, they'll give them to you on an adult cone too. But I wanted a kid's cone, single scoop. And I got strawberry because it's delicious. You really can't beat a hand-scooped ice cream cone, can ya? Headed to my last attraction. If you've been paying attention, I bet you can guess. This really is the best day ever. Headed back into Toy Story Land to do the last attraction on my list, Alien Swirling Saucers. Just kidding. Toy Story Mania. The original Toy Story attraction is still the highest rated Toy Story attraction. And I gotta agree, it's one of my all-time faves, and I'm excited. Toy Story Midway Mania has a score of a 9.83, which is pretty darn good. That puts it as the second highest rated attraction here behind Rise of the Resistance, which I'm not mad about that. As it stands right now, Toy Story Midway Mania is the only attraction, like that's a ride that the whole family can do at this park. When Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway opens up in March, that will change that. But I love this one. It's a 3D shooting game with Woody, Buzz, Ham, Jesse, Rex, and the whole gang.
Hey, partners! Welcome to the practice game!
Pro tip, don't try very hard on the practice game. Don't waste your energy. This is a competitive sport, people. If your arm doesn't physically hurt when you're done, you did this one wrong. I'm gonna start doing more shoulder presses at the gym. I love Toy Story Mania. I think it's a great attraction. I think over a 9.8 is a good score. For me, it's a 10, but I am glad to see that that ranked very high on today's list right after Rise of the Resistance. So, what a great day. I am now headed to my final dining location, ranked number 2 by you. Top 1 for me, it's tied for my top probably here. And I was thinking though, I was saying how there's not a ton of creativity and unique food in Hollywood Studios, but there is the stuff in Galaxy's Edge, which I kind of forgot about. And for me, Ronto Roasters should be the number 1 place, because if you haven't had a Ronto wrap yet, you are seriously missing out. It is so delicious. It's a grilled sausage. They have a chicken or a pork version, and it's wrapped in like a non-pita thing with delicious pepper, corn sauce, some spicy slaw on top. It is fabulous. So I'm personally a little appalled that Ronto Roasters didn't make the cut. If you have watched the channel before, then you know there are 2 places in Hollywood Studios that I love to go for a cocktail and a snack. They're my 2 top choices for somewhere to eat in Hollywood Studios, and one of them ranked really high, number 2 on your list. One of them ranked very low, and I'm very sad about it. So I'm headed to one of them. Is it Baseline or is it the Brown Derby? Stay tuned. Like 3 seconds because of editing. The Hollywood Brown Derby. That is the number 2 highest rated restaurant according to you on the AllEars.net review section with an 8.02 rating. I think that's pretty fair. It is a signature restaurant, so it's more expensive. I personally prefer to eat at the lounge, which is the patio out here. No reservations required. They've got a tapas lounge menu as well as a full bar. We're gonna head over there in a second, but that means Baseline Tap House, one of my favorite places, scored really low. It has a 6.5 right now, which is kind of hurting my feelings a little bit. At the Brown Derby Lounge, they do have their own small plates menu with a couple things they don't have in the full restaurant. They've got a smaller version of the Cobb salad, a cheese board, tuna poke, shrimp, and filet mignon sliders. They also put the full menu on the table if you'd prefer to order something off the full menu. And like I said, they've got a big wine list. Can I get it? Yeah. Oh, that's not it. That's embarrassing. They have a good wine list as well as a full bar. So here's some of their cocktails. One of the most fun things you can get. Let's find it. Boop. The specialty flights. You can actually do a margarita or a martini flight where they bring you little baby drinks of 3 different margs or martinis, which is really fun because you can then try couple different things. My cocktail has arrived. I got the Manhattan. I wanted something classic and Hollywood, and it's called the Hollywood Manhattan, and I got a martini last time. So their Manhattan is whiskey and vermouth and Luxardo cherries, and I'm excited to try it and feel fancy. Ooh, that is completely opposite what I normally get here, which is some kind of martini. But that is lovely. I thought by the smell it'd be a super strong whiskey flavor, but the cherry really balances it. It should be a really good cocktail to give someone that thinks they don't like whiskey, because it's definitely a whiskey drink, but it's not as aggressive as some others. That is quite nice, and I do feel fancy. Surprising to no one, I've got one of my all-time favorite Disney foods, the Cobb salad from the Brown Derby. Same recipe they've been using at the actual Brown Derby in Hollywood, and the same recipe they've used since opening here at the park. The outside version here at the lounge is a little different. It's a little bit smaller, and it comes with these little cracker things that you can crumble on top. The inside version is bigger, but on either version you could add a protein if you wanted to. Pour some dressing on me. It's so good. I should make this at home. We actually have the recipe on AllEars for this salad dressing, as well as hundreds of other Disney items. I don't know if y'all knew that. We have a whole recipe section. We'll link it for you. And you can make things like this salad dressing and the grapefruit cake and Ohana bread pudding in your home. Probably have to be better in the kitchen than I am, but yeah, should try this dressing at least. Salad. It's so perfect every single time. And in the reviews, a lot of you said that you love this salad as well. 1, it's a perfect salad. 2, you eat so much heavy, carby, cheesy, sugary stuff when you're at Disney World that sometimes it's nice to have something fresh. But this is fresh and it's not boring. It's got a little crunch from those chips when you get out here. It's got some blue cheese, some avocado. It's so good. It's seriously like one of my top 10, maybe top 5 things in Disney World to eat. Here's the thing about the Brown Derby. I love that Cobb salad. I love getting cocktails here. I prefer sitting on the lounge. It's a signature restaurant, which means it's 2 credits. I would not advise you to get a salad if you're using the dining plan and using 2 credits. It's not a good use of your signature 2 credits. As with anything, if you're using a dining plan, to get the most out of it, you need to pick the more expensive items. So pick the steak, pick the more expensive items. For me, I would sit at the lounge and get the lounge size, pay out of pocket, and use that as lunch one day. And I personally, if I'm going to pick a signature restaurant to use 2 credits on, this is not going to be it. I would rather go to somewhere like Chico or Topolino's over at Riviera Resort. So keep that in mind, but you are going to get a consistently well done, well executed meal here. I just prefer the lounge to sitting inside, but I think a slightly over an 8 is a really good and fair score for the Brown Derby. Well, friends, that wraps up the best day ever at Hollywood Studios. I truly had a fabulous day, and I think the reviews did a lot of things justice. I absolutely think Rise of the Resistance should be on your game plan. 5 a.m. wake-up call, totally worth it, I promise. I love Toy Story Mania. I love Slinky Dog. I'm a little sad Slinky Dog's as low as it is. I also think Rock and Roller Coaster and Tower Terror should be on your list. The ones I wouldn't put on my personal best day ever are Star Tours, though I get the appeal, the Launch Bay, and as much as I like Beauty and the Beast, it's not a requirement for me, though I do enjoy myself. Things I'm a little shocked about is that Fantasmic didn't make the list. It only has an 8.6, and that's one of my favorite things in all of Disney, and I think an absolute must-do. It's got characters, it's got heroes, it's got villains, it's got fireworks, it's got water projections, it's got a giant dragon coming out of a mountain. It has everything. So for me, Fantasmic would make the cut on my best day ever. So what would be on your Hollywood Studios best day ever? Definitely let me know in the comments. Make sure to go to the AllEars review section and leave your reviews. If you want Fantasmic in a best day ever, make sure to go share the love for Fantasmic, or, you know, let me know what you feel about other attractions, shows, dining, everything. In the meantime, friends, Make sure you stay tuned. We're going to do this at Epcot and Magic Kingdom as well. Make sure you rate, review, subscribe to our channel, follow us on Instagram at AllEars.net. And until next time, y'all, I'm Molly, and it's been magical. Cheers to Hollywood Studios. Want to see more of my videos? Click over here. Want to subscribe? You can do that right here. And also, ring that notification bell to make sure you get instantly notified anytime we post a new video. Thanks for following. See you real soon.